What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. That's right. We fight every day on the MG Show. We couldn't tell you, so we had to show you. I hope you enjoyed your 4 years of communism because it's coming to an end. And we're going to show you that this is bigger than Republican versus Democrat. This is actually a battle between, before the 250 years since 1776 that our government has been infiltrated by an invisible enemy. And it is biblical. Shady Groove, welcome to the show, my brother.
My friends, welcome to each and every one of you that think that
1776 that our government
independent citizen journalism is important. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here today on this wonderful Thursday, setting up, Jeff, to the 249th July 4th. And I've been around for like 52 of them. That's kind of depressing whenever I think about it. Yeah, I just deflated everything with that. So that was a realization that just occurred to me in real time that I was not prepared for. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We are very excited to bring you an amazing show, not to mention talking about the big, beautiful bill and all the winning that Trump is doing, but we're also going to be bringing you a 1-hour episode of premium content at hour number 2 today.
Yes, and we're talking about Abraham Lincoln. Remember, we have presidents that have been shot, right? Abraham Lincoln was one of them. Is it because he went against the bloodline? Oh my gosh, JFK was shot. Is it because he went against the monetary system? Greenbacks and gold, and oh my God, guys, you're going to learn a lot. And by the way, when you go against the bloodline, it is very dangerous. President Trump is going against the bloodline. Did he get shot?
He got shot last year, Jeff, about a year ago. That was July the 13th, everybody. That's almost a year ago that Donald Trump got shot for the same reason. And you're going to see this, and it's clear as day today, and actually a little bit of a surprise tomorrow. You're going to see the connections and exactly what we're talking about here. Why did Lincoln die? Why did JFK die? And how in the world did Donald Trump survive? Those three questions are exactly perfectly connected in a way that no one in your media will explain to you, and no one in your school or your history class will ever tell you about.
You know, it's interesting too, and these are Q proofs. What you're seeing right now is actually Q proofs, okay? Because the big beautiful bill, guys, it's not just policy; it's economic warfare, guys, against 250 years of British control, folks. And you've got, everyone thinks he's fighting the Democrats and these, Republicans and Elon and all this stuff. Trump is actually dismantling the hidden empire that ruled America since 1776, Shady Groove. Invisible enemy.
The invisible enemy. That's exactly right. The invisible enemy. The reason that we're here. Okay. If we were not, if the two of us started doing a show and we were not able to engineer an audience that cared about these topics as much as we did, we wouldn't be here right now. These people out there, they act like this whole conversation we're having is about the military industrial complex rogue operators. This movement has nothing to do with those people. This movement has to do with one very simple word, Jeff. It's one simple word, and your founding fathers really loved this word, and that word was very, very easy to say. It's called truth.
Yeah.
Truth. Truth. Why were we founded in truth? And what in the world would be the discrepancy of the reason that we would think that the truth was so important? Would it not be that the kings and queens of the world used the truth as a weapon?
Yeah.
So we use the truth as a weapon.
Absolutely. And we pay a dear price for it, don't we, Shady?
Yeah, we paid a big price for that. We thought that we lived in America, and we thought that we could say what we wanted to as long as we weren't yelling fire in a crowded theater. And that turned out to not be true, didn't it?
Right. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, man, because I swear, it's like I'm serious whenever I thought that we would not be censored in America whenever we started broadcasting.
Correct. And censored by people that we thought were our friends. And now look at this shitty group. So we have another one of those pesky Q proofs. I'm sorry, but this one is huge. All right. Strings cut. 7th floor. No more. FBI. SD. State Department. Okay. On 7/1/2025, statement from State Department Secretary Rubio making foreign aid great again. As of July 1st, USAID will officially cease to implement foreign donations, guys. Okay. On 7/1/2025, Kash Patel to shut down FBI Hoover Building, 7th floor, where it's located, and move the HQ across to D.C. to the Ronald Reagan Building. In Q Post 520, all vehicles of delivery removed. U.S. aid to the NGOs. Strings cut. 7th floor, no more. FBI SD. Do you realize how big this is, Shady?
Do you realize how long ago that post was posted?
Yes.
Guys. Okay,
1/13/2018.
We understand this, right? 7 years ago.
Right. So there it is right there. Every public servant has an obligation to American citizens to ensure any programs they fund in advance of our nation's interest. During the Trump administration, through the review of thousands of programs and over $715 billion in inflation adjusted spending over the decades, it became so apparent that the U.S. Agency for International Development fell well below the standard. And we're going to keep going because it's that big, guys. This is huge, okay?
It's big, man. Like bigger than big.
So basically, USAID has decades and near infinite taxpayer budget to advance American influence, promote economic development worldwide, and allow billions to stand on their own 2 feet. Beyond creating a globe-spanning NGO industrial complex at the taxpayer expense. Let me repeat that. Beyond creating a globe-spanning non-governmental organization industrial complex, a.k.a. foundations and institutes for a reason, stupid.
Yes.
USAID has little to show. Since the end of the Cold War, development objectives have only rarely been met. Instability has often worsened, and anti-American sentiment has only grown. We're giving all these people money. Why we get what? Guys?
Yep.
So this is, you need to read this, guys. This is from the Department of State. It's on Substack. You need to read it. But this is all connected, guys. Everything is connected, okay? All of this is connected. So the entire Q post looks like this, Shitty. Will you go ahead and read that? I'm kidding. Come on, that's funny. Look at
that. I'm like looking over like, ooh.
So we go to nothingcanstopwhatiscoming.com. And we're going to put in Q post. Oops. We're going to go to QAG because I don't have it bookmarked here. I'll get it later. It's .news, I think. .news. I can't remember. But let's go to 520. All right. 520. Big news week. Future proves past. What news was unlocked? Do you believe in coincidences? Uranium One. What public disclosure occurred regarding Uranium One? DEF CON, non-nuke false. DEF CON 1, non-nuke false. Command, why? Necessary? No such agency. NSA. Where did POTUS stop post-Asia? It was necessary for God and country. It was necessary. Remember when President had to stop in Hawaii because there was a missile launched at it? Most people don't realize that. No other vehicle to regain entry. Again, direct pre-knowledge, again, warning alert, think BDT, blunt direct time, right? Is that what that means? Something to that. Shall we play a game? How about a nice game of chess? The floor is yours. Command? Why? Necessary? Who's talking? Think big. Think bigger. Think biggest. Haiti focus? Why is this relevant? What comes next? Clinton Foundation, boom, shock, buy. Admiral Rollins, class 239B underscore TC, quote, because of the Democrats not being interested in life and safety, DACA is now taking a big step backwards. The Dems will threaten shutdown, but what they are really doing is shutting down our military at a time we need it most. Get smart, make America great again. We are fighting for our country. Focus on POTUS's tweet above. If the Democrats shut down the government, what happens to the U.S. military? What specifically occurs? Think budget. Why is this relevant? Class EO. Missing 1, missing 2, missing 3, find missing 3. Future proves past. Nothing is a coincidence. The map is key. This was planned for 3 years. So remember, this is 3 years in 2017, Shady. Okay?
Correct.
So go back. So 2014. And didn't they say something about this has been planned for 15 years?
Yes, and part of the idea of this being planned was the idea that information would be given to you in a way that you could interpret it without the person that's giving you the information being the focus or the subject.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so plan for 3 years, and that would be 2014. That's 10 years ago, 11 years ago, right? Corruption and evil deep within, everywhere. Patience. There is no escape. There are no deals. Treason at the highest levels. Foreign agents within our government, highest levels. This is where it's getting huge. The puppet masters have been removed. All vehicles of delivery removed. USAID. Strings cut. 7th floor, no more. FBI, State Department. We see all. We hear all. The hunt continues. Prison, death, class, Gitmo, underscore J, Zibilla. Red, Iron Eagle, Q. This is huge, guys. The foreign agents within our government. What does that mean? Who are the foreign agents, right? Is it a belief system of Keynesian government, Shady Groove?
Think about that right there in that post. It said state and FBI right together, didn't it? So to me, this is a correlation. In the post that you just read, it's explaining State Department and FBI right together. We just had, at the same time, USAID announced from Rubio that it was closing down USAID, and Kash Patel is moving the FBI headquarters out of the Hoover building and into the Reagan building, right? Is that right?
That's it. Look at that. Make foreign aid great again, right? Talking about that, cutting the aid, and Kash Patel. Same day.
Same day, and that was literally in the same post. USAID, State Department, 7th floor, FBI.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Now, if you read that post, you didn't realize when we read that post that those two things were connected like that. But now, doesn't that post read a little bit differently? Now that you've gotten a lot of gaps filled in over the last 6 or 7 years, now you can clearly see how they would utilize the FBI and the State Department in tandem with USAID to make sure that the nefarious actors in the field or the theater of war would be funded.
But Shady, Q is a Mossad Russian propaganda thing.
That sounds exactly like Flynn Cult. Thank you for that.
or others. And others. Candle, $40 Rumble rant. Thank you, my friend. Happy 4th of July for everyone. Happy birthday, Keek. And tomorrow is LK Dark Delight's birthday. C-Page gifted 5 subscriptions to the MG Show. Thank you so much. Whipson Spur, thank you so much. 5 MG Show donations as well. So we're going into that. So now you're starting to understand a little bit of that as well, okay? Jobs. You saw the president posting about jobs, Shady. Let's go to this. Look at all this.
Big news.
Jobs. Okay, these are jobs. Here, we'll just play it.
Hats off to President Trump, because this 3-legged stool of his is really been powerful. The trade, the taxes, and deregulation together. It's all about jobs, and it's going to bring certainty to a lot of folks who just didn't have that for the past 6 months.
All right,
Hats
jobs. Off. Jobs, okay? Here it is again. Jobs.
An upside surprise on headline payrolls, 147, the estimate 106. The unemployment rate was at 4.2. In our survey, economists were looking for that to climb up to 4.3. It comes in at 4.1. And if you want some high-frequency data, or at least some higher-frequency data, jobless claims, much lower than expected. Across the board here in the labor market, this is a pretty solid read.
Wow.
It's good.
Wow, jobs. Why are jobs so important, guys? And again, it was a great night, hottest country in the world. We've got the job market is likely an Energizer bunny. Every single time we get it, we run out of steam. It just keeps going and going.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
And that's on CNN, Shady. I mean, okay, so we got that. Jobs, more jobs. There's their Q-proof. There's this. Jobs. Okay, the jobs report shattered expectations, okay? Jobs. Wow. So there are 10 Q posts with jobs, okay? 337, why are jobs economy growth relevant? Why is POTUS focused on bringing back manufacturing, jobs, security control, true control? Mission 8, whistleblower traps jobs, C3567K. 3567K. Promise jobs and money to all. POTUS economics plus policies, lowest unemployment records in history, record jobs, GDP growth, with all the success that our country is having, including the just released jobs numbers off the charts. It's huge, guys. It's huge. So this is all about jobs, and jobs for regular people is also going against the invisible enemy.
Big, man. Just a second. Don't need a second to get around that, what you're just showing there. But this is so big, guys. Number one, illegal immigrant workers, illegals working in America have lost 350,000 positions within the last just couple of months. That has literally never happened since we've been adults, guys. Okay. Yeah. There's this massive discrepancy here that I feel like Donald Trump is seaming up. We have a quilt in America. We have a fabric, a quilt. The quilt is many different types of fabric blended together, okay? And so we have the white collar and we have the blue collar section of America. And what part of what has happened is the white collar part of America for the last 30 years didn't see what was happening to the blue collar part of America. Donald Trump is recognizing from the position of a white collar person what the blue collar man has gone through for the last 30 or 40 years. Now, there's been plenty of billionaires that have seen it and been able to recognize exactly what's going on. But instead of trying to help the blue-collar worker or the people that want the jobs, the American people that would like to work instead of be forced to live, be poor, they want to work, they have been engineering this against you on purpose. The globalists. Donald Trump is showing you his reverence for you, the blue-collar man, by what he's doing right now, Jeff. What he is bringing to you, and Jerome Powell is working directly against Donald Trump from the Federal Reserve to push these numbers down. Because if Jerome Powell would lower that rate about 3 to 4 points, not only would the small business would take off the way you're seeing job numbers take off.
And you're going to see that's part of the invisible enemy as well. And he's absolutely part of that. So, Patriots, rest assured we are in control. Watch, confirm, and disseminate. The country is not divided. This is fake news. Antifa is organized purely for optics regarding division. It's fake. Estimated 4 to 6% we consider hopeless and forever brainwashed. Reread crumbs regarding slave grip the D's have on the black population. Why is this relevant? Why are jobs, economy, growth relevant? This requires a deep cleaning. These people are stupid. You are safe. Have faith. And that's just 12/13/2017. Go look at all of the jobs posts right here. Right here. Why does POTUS focus on bringing back manufacturing? Job security, control, true control. Who can you trust? The world is not how you view it. Okay? The arrests will come. Have faith. They must win. New strategy. Promise jobs and money to all. Desperate. Nervous? Stay awake, guys. Stay awake. And these are all about, we've lost our jobs. Who makes arrests? FBI, DOJ. Can you make arrests with crooked FBI senior team? See previous posts regarding FBI. Not easy for anyone. We are in this together. Much appreciation. It's what you don't know and can't see ongoing that will validate your efforts. Trust the plan. Step back. Remove arrests. What do you see? Stage being set. Godspeed. patriots. Okay. Remove arrests. Okay. What do you see? You see a glaring global economy, and you see your president, Donald J. Trump, restoring what the founding fathers actually wanted for your country.
And what our goal is not retribution. Retribution is success in the economy. He is bringing you 100% what he told you he was going to bring you. He said
Just-
a retribution
just before-
will be our retribution will be our success in the economy. So all of these people that are acting like there should be heads on stakes, okay? These people that want heads on stakes, these people are like the court of the king. Show me a time show me a time when the American people called out for people's heads on stakes. Okay, that didn't happen because we have rule of law. We don't need heads on stakes. If you are guilty, you will be convicted. If you have information leading to someone's conviction, you can share that information. We investigate crimes, not people.
And yes, Timu Obama is still talking 7.5 hours, holding up the BBB vote. All right, so
He's doing good.
I want to try to play this for you too, guys, because this is from the Promethean report, Shady Groove. Have you ever heard of this group?
Yes.
Okay, so this lady actually lays it out, and we'll have some commentary on it as well, Shady. You haven't seen it yet, so I'm here to surprise you. But listen to what this lady says. She gets it.
Okay. Thank you.
Before the big, beautiful bill went to the Senate for final passage, Donald Trump told reporters on the White House lawn,
I don't want to go too crazy with cuts. I don't like cuts.
that was pure Donald Trump. And when he ended a genocidal geopolitical war in Africa and opened the door to economic development, you were seeing the real Donald Trump, someone who has broken the narrative from both left and right and is acting from a deeper, more American impulse, channeling something that's been at the heart of America since 1776. Now, he's been there all along, but most people want to put a mentally comfortable label on him: conservative, Republican, capitalist. But what we're witnessing right now is something quite remarkable: the reemergence of a genuine American political movement under the leadership of a unique historical individual. And it's happening just in time for America's 250th birthday in 2026. Now, let me be clear. This is not whatever Elon Musk is talking about with his so-called new party. It's not the warmed-over British imperial system dressed up in libertarian or fiscal conservative drag. It's not the Federal Reserve's austerity with its budget-balancing cult. It's something older, deeper, and far more revolutionary. This is Susan Kokinda, and for over 5 decades, I've been involved in a movement which has defied labels. I've seen how ideologies on the left, like environmentalism, and on the right, like fiscal conservatism, are spun up, usually by the British elites, to disorient and destroy real American policies. So if you want to be part of the fight, go to our website, become a member, and equip yourself for victory. So in this update, I'm going to look at 3 things from that standpoint. First, the big, beautiful bill and how the fight around it reflects Trump's embrace of American economic policies. Second, how the opposition to it, whether from budget balancers, the Federal Reserve, or the Democrats, exposes the British hand in American economic institutions and thinking. And third, how Trump's foreign policy is upending decades and centuries of imperial policy with a focus on Africa and the Mideast. So let's start with the big, beautiful bill, because that's what's on the line today, and this is where the rubber meets the road. So why did Donald Trump say he doesn't want to go crazy with cuts, that he doesn't like cuts? That's got to be setting the hair on fire for a lot of Heritage Foundation acolytes. Trump and his team know that you have to build your way out of a crisis. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said it yesterday to Laura Ingraham. We're going to pay the debt down by growing the economy. Now, everyone knows that the big, beautiful bill has had to accommodate certain political realities to get as far as it had. But Bessent pointed out the big, beautiful bill contains foundational elements of an overall strategy, which includes tariff, immigration reform, tax policy, all of which are designed to reshape and grow the economy. Now, everyone hammers away at the budget office's claim that the bill will massively increase deficits. On Maria Bartiromo on Sunday, Trump didn't flinch. He talked instead about getting our spirit back. We brought spirit back. We brought respect and dignity back. He's talking about reviving the American producer identity. American economics is not about dollars and cents. It's about unleashing the creative power of the human mind. Now, Scott Bessent not only took on the Congressional Budget Office, but he also took on the Federal Reserve's attempted sabotage of the bill. He, like Trump, pointed out that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is keeping interest rates up, which of course affects the size of the federal debt and feeds the demands of the budget cutters. But he also pointed to Powell's comments made at a forum this week, where the Fed chair admitted that interest rates were being kept up because of Trump's tariff policies. Even Laura Ingraham was struck by Powell's hatred of tariffs. And the way Bessent put it was, so I don't know, I guess this tariff derangement syndrome happens even over at the Fed. Bessent went on to point out that the budget cutters attacking the bill don't take into account the revenues coming from tariffs, which are estimated at $3 trillion over the next 10 years. This is a different way of thinking, and that's why Trump is so adamant about making us a manufacturing superpower and growing the living standards of workers and defending benefits to seniors and others. Physical production and human minds are the source of wealth, not some algorithm that generates a financial profit. That's where a lot of the tech bros have a problem, because it's about investing in the future, not managing income streams for central banks and hedge funds. But here's the kicker. Trump's problem isn't just with the Democrats. It's coming from inside the House, from budget-cutting fundamentalists, the libertarians, and groups like the Heritage Foundation. These are the people who have internalized the British system of economics, whether they know it or not. Well, some knew it all along.
That's
Go
Project
look up the
2025.
role of British economist Stuart Butler, who first founded the Adam Smith Institute in London in 1977, and then was dispatched to the US to guide the Heritage Foundation in 1979.
Tavistock.
Much of today's pushback on Trump's big, beautiful bill can be traced back to Butler's British policy influence at Heritage. Now, this is also related to Elon Musk's libertarian opposition to the bill and talk of forming an American party. Well, it's not American. If Musk had intellectual honesty, he'd call it the Austrian Party, because he is a self-avowed follower of Milton Friedman and the Austrian school philosophy. So this question of a new party is not just today's shit fit coming from Elon Musk. The globalists clearly understand that their Democratic Party, if it stays in the hands of the likes of Tim Walz and the new New York mayoral candidate Mamdani, is committing political suicide. There is undoubtedly some deck chair rearranging going on as they try to figure out how to deal with the reality of Trump's new Republican Party of workers and producers. Because Donald Trump is doing something that we've only seen a few times in American history. Like Lincoln and McKinley, he's using the Republican Party as an instrument for a movement which defends the American system and American principles. That is the only legitimate role for a party or a movement in the United States. Otherwise, as we've seen through too much of our nation's history, parties are tools of the imperial elite, which is why we have a uniparty. Now, here's a shocker. Both the overly large role of political parties and the Federal Reserve and the very idea of a balanced budget come from one place, the British. Let's look at a little bit of buried history. Not long after the assassination of our last American system president, McKinley, we got Woodrow Wilson. Wilson wanted to introduce British-style parliamentary democracy into the United States, where parties rule and the interests of the nation and the people are sidelined. He ushered in the Federal Reserve. He also introduced the need for a federal budget. Before Wilson, Congress operated on the basis of a long-term capital budget, not a year-to-year balance-the-budget exercise. Think about that. For half of our history, the United States did not have a federal budget. Let that sink in as you listen to the final attempts to sabotage Trump's bill. We did not have a federal budget until we got the Federal Reserve. Instead, we invested in the future. We built canals and railroads and infrastructure, which Woodrow Wilson hated. We didn't obsess over balancing the books every year. But Wilson changed that, and that then metastasized into the post-war Austrian school, which drives today's libertarians. So let's not talk about a new party. Let's understand that Donald Trump is using the vehicle of the Republican Party to restore American economic and political sovereignty. Anything else is just another front for the British system. Now, let's look at how this fight plays out on the world stage, because the British system isn't just about economics, it's about empire. Look at what Trump has done in the past few weeks at G7, at NATO, kicking globalist institutions to the curb, strengthening relations with Russia, and making it clear that America will no longer be a pawn in someone else's perpetual wars and imperial games. Trump just announced a 60-day ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and said that when Netanyahu comes to the U.S., he's going to be very tough on him. Or how about this announcement that the United States is halting shipment of some weapons to Ukraine? But let's zero in on a moment that most of the media missed, one that shows a tectonic shift underway. Secretary of State Marco Rubio put out a statement on July 1st as USAID was being shut down, making clear that the
Now remember, this is a Q-proof.
U.S. role in propping up color revolutions and keeping nations dependent was over. How did the Uniparty respond? In a show of unity. Barack Obama and George W. Bush, two presidents supposedly representing opposite sides, rushed to defend the record of USAID. They even brought in Bono, the globalist mascot, to make the case for keeping the old imperial system alive. But if you really want to talk about the imperial system, let's look at Africa, where Trump is making a transformational difference. Don't forget, many African countries were still colonies of the French, Dutch, Belgian, and especially the British, many until the 1960s. And even after political independence, they were trapped in a central bank-run, globalist-dominated economy, beset with wars and never allowed to develop. Now, an African reporter, speaking of the historic Congo-Rwanda deal negotiated by Trump, just came back from Congo, and she said the following: "I've witnessed myself how proud, how happy the people of Congo are under this peace deal. I've seen hope. Now they are seeing, under, of course, the leadership of Donald Trump, that finally they will see peace in Congo and, of course, economic benefit to the country. When you talk to the people, they say, finally, we will be able to make our country grow." She made the point that previous administrations never seriously tried to stop the conflict, which killed 6 million. And she continued, "But finally, President Trump is the one who said this must stop. This is wrong. In Congo, I spoke with people, even little kids. You're not going to believe they know a man named Trump is doing something to bring peace to their country. And they are very, very happy. You can see hope in their eyes. Trump is breaking the imperial system. He's fighting for a new independence, economic, political, and strategic, and not just at home. He's showing the world that America is back, not as an empire, but as a builder, a partner, and a force for real development. So as we head into Independence Day this Friday, let's remember what's really at stake. Donald Trump is fighting for our policy independence from the British ideology, economically and strategically. This is not about left versus right. It's not about Republican versus Democrat. It's about the American system versus the British system. And it's about time that we recognized what's really going on. The attacks on Trump, the attacks on the big, beautiful bill, the talk of new parties, this is all coming from one place. An imperial system which has been headquartered in the City of London since before the time of our fight for independence. So as you celebrate Independence Day this Friday, remember, the celebration is not just for our independence from Britain in 1776. The fight for our independence from the British globalist system today is what is ongoing. And Donald Trump is leading the way, and we have a real chance to win that fight. Hundreds of thousands of people are responding to Promethean Action's updates and to this message. And thousands are subscribing to our free newsletter, because they're discovering a strategic clarity you can't get anywhere else. We are close to our goal of having 1,000 paying members. We would like to celebrate Independence Day by hitting and exceeding that goal and ramping up the fight. So please join our growing community of paid members. This is Susan Kokinda. Stay focused, keep building. Happy Independence Day, and thanks for watching.
Please take a moment and subscribe to our
And I'm going to
free
let that
newsletter
play. If you
at
guys got your
Olympian
phones,
Action.
go ahead and do it. But I tell you, that video gave me chills, Shady Groove, because that is like one big Q proof after another inside this 13-minute and 56-second video.
Wow. Oh, I got
Huh?
Wow. Yeah. I'm going to take a second to get around that. That was amazing. That was like beyond amazing. If you could support them, I recommend you supporting them. They are really good. I've seen a couple of things that have come out of that. I've not seen that. That is an excellent, top-notch analysis of exactly what it is Donald Trump is doing and exactly what it is that we are fighting. The correlations are so perfect. The reason that the digital soldier people are out there is to distract you from seeing the simplicity in a lot of this stuff, guys. She's telling you the truth. Woodrow Wilson, the Federal Reserve, the Pesor Trust, the bloodline kings, okay? When we say the bloodlines, they hear bloodlines and they think that this is somehow anti-Semitic. This is not anti-Semitic. The bloodline kings go back before Jewish history, okay? A long, long time before Jewish history. So set that aside. Tavistock, 100% what she's talking about with the Heritage Foundation and the lead up to this is Tavistock and the orientation of the political party that mandates the narrative, not the American people. The parliamentary process means that the party dictates policy. The American system dictates that the people dictate policy. You can clearly see that there is a problem with that with two different thought forms and ideological perspectives. She's exactly right about Elon Musk. She's exactly right about the technocrats and the quote-unquote people that call themselves libertarians. I called myself a libertarian until I realized what the hell they really were. So now, for the kicker, what does she say? How does she connect this to Iran? How does she connect this to what else it is that Donald Trump is doing? 1960 CIA involved in the coup and the political actions of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Very interesting. Oh, didn't we just get some peace deal? Why would the CIA spend 85 years in the Congo destroying their cities, destroying their lives, utilizing their people, destroying their families, their traditions, their culture, everything that they could do for like 85? Why would they spend all of that time to just bring Donald Trump in there to screw it all up in 10 seconds? Color revolutions, Africa, Bill Gates, USAID, scam trillions. Who follows the money? Nobody. War, scam trillions. Who follows the money? Nobody. What is Donald Trump doing? He's putting in stuff in government that can actually follow, track, and understand where the money is being spent, just like it would in a business, like it should be, getting rid of the magic money computers, which undermines the Fed's ability to control how much money is being spent, because they are just spending money so that they're driving us further in debt. And now Jerome Powell is sitting there and he's saying, okay, you've got $38 trillion worth of debt. We're going to continue to charge you 6 points on that debt. Do you realize how much that increases the national debt? He's
On
increasing
purpose.
the debt times X as Trump's trying to diminish it with the tariffs. Tariff derangement syndrome.
Boom.
Guys, this show could not be more over the target, and we're going to have a special presentation in hour number 2 that's going to blow your mind when you see how Abraham Lincoln and the connections before McKinley are connected directly to the process that Trump is going through right now to untangle. Jeff, he's like taking this knotted up ball of yarn, meticulously taking it and straightening it out.
And if America falls, the world falls, because they'll be, subsequently underneath the British rule system, the invisible enemy. Now, let's go look at invisible enemy, Shady Grove.
Great addition for today's show, sir.
You like that one?
That was really good. That's really good because it connects so well, and she's articulated it so perfectly. And not so many people aren't mentioning that.
And it's stuff that we've connected before, but she said it so eloquently.
Yeah,
was
and
so good.
the World Wide Web, the World Wide Web is really this USAID thing that past presidents use to implement color revolution so that they could control resources in foreign countries, just like what they did here with creating the Federal Reserve.
So who bought the Catholic Church? Do people know here?
I think that this audience will probably be the only audience that would know
Yeah.
that.
For $400 million back in the 1870s. Does anybody know? So we're going to talk about that a little bit real quick. And by the way, tomorrow, Friday, we're going to have a really short show, and then we're going to present to you on premium content. So we want you to join premium, guys. We need you to join premium if you can, okay? Only if you can. But we're going to play my original interview that got 20,000 people online live with my Payseur discussion. It was my second interview ever, Shady being the first, on the Payseur. War Drummer then became bad. Then he took the video down. As soon as it rendered, it was 50,000 views. And then it got up to 500,000 views. And then he started attacking us because somebody might have bought him off because they don't want you to see this interview. So tomorrow, we're going to have premium content tomorrow, same time, 12:05. I'm going to go live with Wet Yeti, my producer, and we're going to launch the War Drummer video interview with myself and War Drummer. And by the way, he flashed my Facebook up there, and I think that's who helped dox me as well. Okay?
I think that's how they verified it.
I think that's how they verified it. Yep. So humanity is good, but when we let our guard down, we allow darkness to infiltrate and destroy. Like past battles we fought, now we face our greatest battle at present, a battle to save our republic, our way of life, and what we decide. Each of us now will decide our future. Will we be a free nation under God, or will we cede our freedom, rights, and liberty to the enemy? We all have a choice to make. Evil, darkness has never been so exposed to light. They no longer can hide in the shadows. Our system of government has been infiltrated again. You see how this is a Q-proof, this lady, Shady Groove, and what we've been talking about? Yep. Our system of government has been infiltrated by corrupt and sinister elements. Democracy was almost lost forever. Think HRC installed 2+ Supreme Court justices, 200+ judges. Rogue elements expanded inside the DOJ, FBI, CIA, NSA, White House, state, removal, Second Amendment, border, etc. America for sale, China, Russia, Iran, Syria, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda. Expansion, surveillance of domestic citizens, modify, change voter rules and regulations to allow illegals and ballot harvesting with Supreme Court-backed liberal social opinion. Sell off military to the highest bidder to fight internal long-standing wars. Their thirst for one world order, destruction of national sovereignty, serves to obtain control over America and her allies. Think the European Union by diluting your vote to oblivion and installing a new one world ruling party. The start of this concept began with organizations such as the World Health Organization, World Trade, United Nations, ICC, NATO, etc., all meant to weaken the United States. Also, the formation of the EU through threat of close proximity attack. Attack on one is an attack on an all. Sales pitch to generate public fear control. And by the way, President Trump is talking to Russia today. Regarding the EU, did each member nation cede sovereignty to Brussels? Regarding the EU, each member must implement EU rules and regulation in all areas. Think immigration, currency, overall control. Look what's happening today, Shady, over there. Their thirst to remove your ability to defend yourself serves to prevent an uprising to challenge their control. There is a fundamental reason why our enemies dare not attack, invade our borders, armed citizenry. If America falls, so does the world. If America falls, darkness will soon follow. Only when we stand together, only when we are united, can we defeat this highly entrenched dark enemy. Their power and control relies heavily on uneducated population, a population that trusts without individual thought, a population that obeys without challenge, a population that remains outside of free thought and instead remains isolated, living in fear inside of the closed loop echo chamber of the controlled mainstream media. This is not about politics. This is about preserving our way of life and protecting the generations that follow. We are living in biblical times. Children of the light, versus children of the darkness, united against the invisible enemy of all humanity. I rest my case. Shady Groove, Q-proof.
Wow. So that's the reason you're all here. I hope that you remember why you came. I hope you remember why you're here. Because if that is not it, then you're here for the wrong reason. Okay? Like the reason that we're having issues with a certain segment of people on the internet is because we can clearly see that they're not here for the right reason. You can easily be here for the right reason. I can clearly see somebody that's here for the right reason because they support that position right there. They support what Donald Trump is doing. They can see through. They are the same as a tariff derangement syndrome person. Okay, a Trump derangement syndrome, a tariff derangement syndrome is the exact same thing as what these people are doing that are acting like Pam Bondi, Dr. Oz, Kash Patel. Now they're making memes of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino in women's clothes. Okay, new memes coming out, being spread by these people with Bongino and Kash Patel in women's clothes, acting like they're little girls, like they're not doing their jobs. I am 100% over the top, over the moon, impressed with everything that I've seen happen in this last 6 months. If we were to sit there and drawn it up, Jeff, in January, say, "Oh, what do you want to have done in 6 months? What do you likely think they could get done in 6 months?" Iran no longer being a nuclear threat would probably not be on that list.
Yeah.
Okay. Jerome Powell continuing to hold the inflation up on purpose from the Fed, that's overtly on the surface for anybody that understands finance to see. So anybody that is a white collar person that understands finance can see what Jerome Powell is doing. That's exposing the Fed. What we're doing here to you guys in this deeper level, well, that exposure for people on the surface is happening in a different realm at the behest of Donald Trump's policy.
Yeah. The interest rates, and that's also a Q proof with the old guy as well, with the interest rates. Keep them up, keep them high, because that keeps the debt going. They are protecting their way of life, and their way of life is to control you, make you like suck off the government teat, and not have a job. I remember when America was happy to go to work every day, and then they could buy a house and a car and a bicycle for their child and have a picket fence and a dog and have a wonderful life. Shady Groove.
That's coming back. That's exactly what we're fighting for. If that's not what it was that we came to fight for, then we're fighting for the wrong thing again. That's exactly what it is that you and I and all of us came to the conversation to do, was to stand up and to say that there's no reason why we should be feeding this layer of elites. The people that have now come to microphones and they've said this now clearly, they're not joking around. We need the illegals to wipe our asses. That's what they said.
They've said it, yeah.
They've said it out loud. They're not joking. We're not making things up by saying that's what they think. We think that if somebody's going to wipe your ass, they should be paid a living wage. That's what we think. I don't care what you think about that. The reality of the situation is anybody that's in America should be in an equal footing and compete for the job in an equal space with the ability for the person that has the most talent to excel. That's what we should. There's no alternative to that. Anything outside of that is not capitalism. It's communism. It's control. It's overt control. It's covert control. I don't care what you want to call it. We want freedom, Jeff. We're fighting for freedom for each and every one of us. Not freedom to be a collective and stick up for our side no matter what they do. That's wrong. Right. Also.
VQ says, God bless America. God bless the MG show and crew and the followers. Thank you so much, VQ. Embalmed, what's up, my brother? I feel so patriotic right now today because of this message. MG, $17.76 rumble rant. Thank you. Iki 56, I'm thankful for you too. For years, I thought I was alone, and I had a family and friends that think I'm crazy. I was crazy. I know I was not crazy, but they were only blind. Yes, and they will wake up. Remember, 4 to 6% won't make it. And I have a feeling that because what Shady was saying earlier, by Christmas time, you're going to see a whole different United States of America. And I believe you, Shady. I believe in that, because right now we are seeing a flurry of Q proofs. And why do you think Elon Musk has had us censored for this whole time, Shady?
Yeah, it's because he doesn't want the message that Q was really given to be put out, because
and about him.
the drops about him implicate him in the North Korea situation.
More than that.
At minimum.
Check this out. Yeah, more than that. Well, the subsidies, right? We got the subsidies.
Yes, sir.
And you got the Tesla subsidies and the North Korea. But look at this. Did you know Batter Up shows Elon at 118 Podesta Group. Elon hired Podesta Group in 2016. Elon hired Heather Podesta in 2021. Elon met with John Podesta in 2023. Batters Up. Would Elon Musk be someone who might testify about something, fraud in the government, handouts for alternative energy? This is a really good by Lance's Epic Quest, Styles with the Z Beats. But SpaceX paid $90,000 in third quarter to Invariant, which is founded by longtime lobbyist Heather Podesta. That's Tony Podesta's wife, guys. All right. Yep. And look at this. 118. What family was permitted to leave after 9/11? Look at this. Why do select senior political officials and have foundations and institutes, guys? And are any connected to the Podesta group? What do you need in order to prosecute senior political officials? How do you counter and justify political attacks to mass public? Wow.
Man. That's great. That's great. I complimented him on that because picking up on that to recognize whenever Q said future proofs past, that was not a prophetic statement. That did not mean prophecy. That did not mean like, for someone from on high is like channeling information through the network on the internet. No, that meant that there was a process of elimination, a game theory that once you throw the snowball over the side of the mountain, it will not stay the same size. How about that?
It's going to be a D5.
It's going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to cause an avalanche that will cause a level of destruction to their whole system from top to bottom of the chain that the only thing left in the rubble would be the American economy. Do you see that happening?
That's amazing. Kimmy Mack. Oh, by the way, in 4 minutes, we're going directly to our reading of Abraham Lincoln and the history of Abraham Lincoln. You're not going to want to miss it, okay? You're not going to want to miss it. And what will happen is a little premium thing, join premium, will pop up for you. Go ahead and join it because you're not going to want to miss it. We've been reading the Pandora's Box, the ultimate unseen hand right here of the New World Order. Okay. And that's what we're trying to destroy. That's why they don't want you to see this show. And then tomorrow we're going to have a special presentation. We're going to put it on premium because we need you to join premium. And we might release it later, so don't worry. But we're going to want to have you join premium tomorrow to watch the interview with myself and War Drummer Shady. Kimmy Max says, I have so many friends who are waiting for to see these changes that I've schooled them on so the moms can quit their jobs and raise their kids. USA, USA. EMP hands 1 subscription. Thank you. B Seddons, great show, guys. Thank you so much. And then we got another one. Oh, my gosh, I'm missing one. Right here. Kimmy Mack. And I learned this because of you guys and what I have learned from this group. Thank you. Corey for Truth gifted another subscription too. So Shady, 3 minutes. And you're going to take off for the weekend. And I want everybody to have the best 4th of July. And I want you guys to pray about getting out of this British control system. This is the true revolution, the invisible enemy, ones that may be supporting it or not knowing that they're supporting it. But there's many that do know, like Too Late Powell. They are supporting the wrong system, guys. We want the American system as our founding fathers wants it, Shady.
I'd like to say thank you all so much. God bless America. And to all of the people that are coming over to Premium, we're going to have an excellent second hour today. All the people that are not, please have an amazing 4th of July. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Thank you, Jeff, for doing this. I think this is going to be a really cool addition to add to what it is that we're doing here. But the America that you believed in whenever you were a child is what we're on the brink of. Donald Trump will deliver on the promises that he has made to you, and all of the people that are supporting Donald Trump will deliver on his agenda. I promise you. We are not in a fight anymore, guys. The only thing that we're doing right now is we're waiting for other people to realize that they are winning also, because we're winning without them. Thank you, each and every one of you, for all your donations and support of this show. Thank you for liking and rumbling this broadcast and getting us up on the leaderboard. We need all of your likes, rumbles, subscriptions. Donations are very, very welcome, but not necessary. We love all of you so much.
And I will see you tomorrow for about 8 minutes or so, and then we'll have the full presentation of my interview about the pay sewers on War Drummer that garnered over 500,000 views before he took it down. And we are going to be We got 20 seconds, guys. We're 20 seconds. Go ahead and get premium. The link will pop up for you. Get the premium. Get the premium. Please get the premium. Or go to rumble.com/MG show. Look for the red button and get premium there. We love you so very much. And Yeti is going to take us away in 5, 4, 3, 2. Happy 4th of July.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.